A very good morning, students. Hope you all are fine and good. The topic that we are going to see today is Chapter 9 Government Organization. So, it is like the continuation that we are going to see today of government organization. Okay. So, the last class I have already explained about the meaning of departmental undertakings, features, advantages, and disadvantages also. And I started with the public cooperation and the features. So, before I proceed with the advantages and disadvantages, I just want to just give a quick, just a quick explanation about public cooperation. What is a public cooperation, dear? See, public cooperation is nothing but any organization which is formed by passing an act in the parliament. Okay, an act should be accepted in the parliament, and that organization is called as public cooperation. The other name for public cooperation, we even call it as a statutory cooperation. Okay, so what are the different examples that we saw in the last class? The examples that we saw is like Air India, International, Oil and Natural Gas Commission, etc. So we saw about the airlines and all, the Indian Airlines, Insurance Corporation, all that we saw, isn't it? So now let's go with the advantages of and disadvantages. So now what are the advantages? The first point is bold management due to operational autonomy. So the management is going to be very, very bold. The reason is, see, even though if it is the money, the finance is, you have got the finance for the public corporation from the government, okay, or maybe from the parliament you get it, and you are get it from the state legislature, but the day-to-day transactions are not monitored by the legislature. Okay, only the most important decisions or anything about the strategy, that is actually discussed with the parliament. Okay, but other than that, it is not monitored completely by the parliament and all, legislature and all. Okay, the first point, see, a public corporation enjoys internal operational autonomy as it is free from governmental control. It can therefore run a business like manner, and management can take bold decisions involving experimentation in its lines of activities, taking advantage of the business situation. So they can take their own decisions. So every day in and day out activities, they need not get permission from the legislature. So it is very easy for them to take decisions. Next one is legislative control. What is legislative control? See, when you are going to take any decision, it is the money which you got for the public corporation is, you got it from the state legislature. Okay, so in case if the company is going to do something, okay, it will be very keenly monitored by the public, maybe the press and all will be very keen in watching everything. So here what happens is, it is like they are always under the check. So here no fraud or unhealthy practice is not, it doesn't take place here. The reason is they are actually monitored closely by the common people. Okay, see, the affairs of a public corporations are subject to scrutiny by committees of parliament or state legislature. The press also keeps a watchful eye on the working of a public corporation. This helps check on the unhealthy practices on the part of the management of the public corporation. Okay, the next one, qualified and contented staff. What is qualified and contented staff? The people who are in the public corporation, the staff, that particular organization will be very, it will be maintained properly. And where here what happens is, the staffs are also, the people who are getting the job, they also they actually select for a qualified people, and even they are, they are also satisfied with the job place wherever they do their work. See here, the public corporation offers attractive service conditions to its staffs. As such, it is able to attract qualified staffs because of qualified and contented staff. Industrial relations problems are not much severe here, and the staffs has a motivation to work hard for the corporation. See, you have a good atmosphere for the people who work, the employer. So it is very, and they feel happy to work here in the public corporation. That is one. And moreover, it is they just select the qualified members only for the work. And moreover, because of this, what happens is, the staffs are actually motivated to do their work, and they work hard also also for the corporation. See the tailor-made statute. What is tailor-made statute? The special act by which a public corporation is created can be tailor-made to meet the specific needs of the public corporation, so that the corporation can function in the best manner to achieve its objective. The special act. So when you just pass a special act, okay, so by which a public corporation is actually created. You just create a public corporation by passing a special act in the parliament, right? So that is actually a tailor-made. Tailor-made means you just make the rules, isn't it? You just make the rules and you just attach, and to meet the specific needs of the public corporation. So you are not, your organization is not made for profit earning and all. It is actually meant to do the work what is already the target which is fixed, the rules which are fixed by the parliament. So only that they must perform, okay, so that the corporation can function in the best manner to achieve its objective. Their needs, what is the specific need that they need to find, and only towards that they must complete that, they must perform their job. So what happens here is, since even qualified people are there, it is much better for them to get there to achieve their objectives, okay. Not affected by political changes. So if there is any changes in the political party also, the rules which are already set for the public corporation would not get changed, okay. So it will exist as it is, okay. See, the being a distinct legal entity, a public corporation is not much affected by the political changes. It can maintain continuity of policy and operation. It can maintain that, okay. You can just maintain the continuity. Lesser likelihood of exploitation. The board of directors of a public corporation consists of representatives of various interest groups like labor, consumers, etc. So when you just have a board of directors, for a public corporation, actually it consists of representatives. It means it consists of so many members, and who does have different groups, and like they even have it for the laborers, consumers, and even they even have a nominated kind of nominated by the government also. As such, there is lesser likelihood of exploitation of any class of society by the public corporation. The top hand people are from the government only. They are appointed by the parliament. So because of this, what happens is they are not able to exploit more, okay. The reasonable pricing policy. The public corporation follows a reasonable pricing policy based on the cost benefit analysis. So based on the cost benefit analysis, the prices are also reasonable in a public corporation. So here what happens, hence public are generally satisfied with the provision of goods and services by the public corporation. So because of that, what happens is the public is very much happy, and even they are happy for and satisfied, and they even they are satisfied with the provisions of goods and as well as the services. So that is about the public corporation. Next we have is the disadvantages of public corporation. So the first point that we have is the autonomy and flexibility only in theory. What is autonomy and flexibility? Autonomy and flexibility advantages of public corporation exist only in theory. So it actually happens only for a theoretical basis, okay. So autonomy and flexibility means according to the already set up rules, they are even flexible also, okay. That is the first advantage. In practice, there is a lot of interference in the working of a public corporation by ministers, government officers, and other politicians. So and even what happens is that is actually when you are doing the work, the politicians or some other people will always get involved into your work. So that is there, okay. Misuse of monopolistic power. Here what happens is the public corporation often enjoys much monopoly in their field of operation. As such, on the one hand, they are indifferent to consumers' needs and problems, and on the other hand, often do not hesitate to exploit the consumers. So here what happens is public corporation actually enjoys the monopoly. Monopoly means majority of the production is in the hands of a single person, like that. So they have a monopoly system, and because of that, there is a chance of exploiting the people also, okay. Rigid constitution. It means the constitution of the public corporation is very rigid. Rigid means very rude, okay. So here what happens is the constitution is very much rude, and see, it cannot be changed without amending the statute of its formation. So it cannot get changed if the statute whatever so without changing the statute, the rules in the formation. From they already made a rule and then only this organization started coming, isn't it? So it will be very different and it will be very tough to do all that. So if you want to do any changes, then you must change the rule itself in that particular corporation. Public corporation could not be flexible in its operation, and even it is not flexible also. Low managerial efficiency means they are quite often civil servants who do not possess management knowledge and skills, are appointed by the government and on a board of directors of a public corporation. As such, managerial efficiency of a public corporation is not as much as found in the private business enterprise. So low managerial efficiency means what? You don't have much, the civil servants and all who does not have a proper management skill, they will get the job and they are being appointed by the government, okay? And even the board of director, they even become a board of director also for a public corporation. So this what happens is the managerial efficiency of a public corporation is not found much, okay, like a private enterprise. So next one is problem of passing a special act. A public corporation cannot be formed without passing a special act, which is a time consuming and difficult act, okay, passing act, and which is time consuming and difficult process, and hence the scope for setting up a public corporation is very restricted. So you can't very quickly start to have a public corporation, to open a public corporation, because it takes a very long time. If you want to start a company, then you need to pass an act in the parliament, okay. The next one is clash of divergent interest. What is that? In the board of directors of public corporation, conflicts may arise among representatives of different groups. So different conflicts will come, okay, and such clashes tells upon the efficient functioning of the corporation and may hamper its growth. So here what happens when the clashes comes, they will tell like what efficient functioning they were doing, and they will clash. They will just hamper means they will hurt themselves, and this will actually just affect the growth also. Now the next topic that we have is the government company. But before I proceed, I just want to show you some examples of public corporations here. Food Corporation of India, headquarters New Delhi. You have the symbol here, company logo. ONGC is that is in New Delhi. Okay. Then Tourism Corporation of India, that is in New Delhi only. Okay, see that these are the public corporation only. See the next one. Now we'll go on with the next last topic of this lesson, that is meaning and feature of government company. What is a government company? I already told you. So any company which has a paid up share capital for more than 51%, okay, the paid up share capital of a company, if it's going to hold about more than 51% of the whole capital, then that company, maybe it can be from a private or from a public. So if it is from a public, then it is called as a government company. Is that clear? See, a government company is defined under section 2 of 45 of the Company Act 2013 as any company in which not less than 51% of the paid up share capital is held by the central government or by any state government or governments, or partly by the central government and partly by one or more state governments, and includes a company which is a subsidiary company of such a government company. Okay, so that is what is called as a government company. Features of government company. So registration under the Company Act. What is the registration? See, a company act, a government company is formed through registration under the Company Act. So you just form a company, a government company, by forming a Company Act of 1956, and is subject to the provision of this act. So that is what is the government company. And like any other company, however, what happens? However, the central government may direct that any of the provisions of the Company Act shall not apply to the government company or shall apply with a certain modifications. It means, so when you have the paid up share capital for more than 10%, is a government company, and registration of government company is nothing but according to the Company Act of 1956, you must register the company, okay, and there is some provision for that, like based on that, if you register, then your company is going to be a government company. So the next one is executive decisions of government. What is executive decisions of government? A government company is created by an executive decisions of the government without seeking the approval of the parliament or a state legislature. So it is actually a executive decision. It means government only takes the complete decisions, okay, and they don't take approval from the parliament or from the state legislature for making the work to get done. That is the next point. Next is separate legal entity. That means a government company is a legal entity separate from the government. So you have a separate means the management is different and the work will be different. See, the company is a legal entity separate from the government. From the government, it is like a completely a separate one, and it can acquire property, can make contracts, and can file suits on its own name. So it can even, if it wants, even it can get the property, and even it can get contracts also, and even it can file a suit also. Okay, on its own name itself, it can do all this. So whole or majority capital provided by the government. What is that? Whole or majority capital. So it can be like more than 51% the capital can be provided by the government, or even more than that also can be provided by the government. Okay, the whole or majority of the capital of the government company is provided by the government, but the revenue of the company are not deposited into the treasury. So when you get a revenue of the company, it is not deposited into the treasury. Okay, the government treasury doesn't go with the government treasury. Okay, so see the next point now. Majority of government directors. So what is this point? So it means being in possession of a majority of share capital, the government has authority to appoint majority of directors on the board of directors of a government company. So even since you run a government company, the majority of the directors will be from the government only. Okay. The own staff. A government company has its own staffs and all, except the government officials who are sent to it on deputation. Its employees are not governed by civil rules. Civil service rules means they are not government servants. Okay, they do the job for the government, but they are not government servants. See, free from procedural control means a government company is free from the budgetary, accounting and audit controls applicable to government undertakings. So, but even though if the employees are not government servants, but it is actually free from the budgets, accounting, auditing, all that, because it is only a government company, right? Because the money goes completely to the government treasury. So, because of that, all this is not there. Accountability to the parliament or state legislature. It means the annual report of a government company is placed before the parliament or a state legislature. So all the complete report must be submitted, and it should be submitted in front of the parliament or a state legislature. Okay. So next topic, that is the last topic that we have in this lesson, is advantages and disadvantages. What is the advantage? The first point is easy formation. A government company can be easily formed under the Company Act just by an executive decisions of the government. So if you want to make a company as a government company, you can take an executive decision. You can just decide, and then you can just invest, and you can make a government company. According to the Company Act, you can do this. Internal autonomy means a government company can manage its affairs independently. It can just do the affairs. Affairs means daily, day in and day to day work. Okay, so it can manage its work. It can do it independently, and it is relatively free from ministerial control. So no one is going to ask you. Even the ministers are not. You're not responsible to answer for the. You're not answerable for the ministers, and even the political interference also is not there. And in its day-to-day functioning, okay, for everyday function, you don't have any kind of interference. Private participation. Though the government company device, the government can avail of. It can avail of the management skills, technical know-how and expertise of the private sector and foreign countries. For example, the Hindustan Steel Limited has obtained the technical and financial assistance from USSR, West Germany and the UK for its steel plants at Bhilai, that is Rourkela and the Durgapur. Okay. So, though it is it is a government company device. So, since it is a government company, okay, the government even can give permission for the few companies in which they can do their job. Okay, like that only. These are the examples of it. Easy to alter. So, objectives and powers of a government company can be changed by simply altering the memorandum of association and without seeking the approval of the parliament. You do not take approval from the parliament. Very simply, you can just do changes with the MOA, and you can just start you can just change your objective. Discipline means a government company is subject to provision of a company act, okay, so which keeps the management of a company active, alert and disciplined. So it actually runs with the provisions of company act, and because of this which keeps always the management of the company, and it keeps them to have it should keep them to be active, alert and even disciplined also. Okay, professional management. So government company can employ the professionally qualified managers, because it has its own personal policies, it has its own kind of policies and all. So professional management is also there in a government company. Last one is public accountability. So the annual report of a government company is presented to the parliament, state legislature, and these reports can be discussed and debated there. So even when they when they just submit their reports, it is actually discussed in the parliament and in the state legislatures and all, and based on that decisions will be taken also. Okay. So the last topic that we have is disadvantages. Board of directors packed with yes men. What is that? On the board of directors of the government company, there are government appointed directors. Okay, so there are directors who are appointed by the government and who are yes men of the company. Yes men means they are already who worked in the company. Okay, so who already have a majority share in the company. Okay, government being the major shareholder, so yes men of the company, and they are unable to run the company in a business like manner. So they are actually the people who are the director, who become the director of a government company. They are actually the people who are appointed by the government. So it is not they are the people who already contributed majority of the shares, right? And so they are not able to run a business. They are not able to concentrate on like how to do a business and all, and it doesn't look like a business. The next one is autonomy. Okay, autonomy only in name. What is that? Independent character of a government company exists only in name. So in reality, the politicians, ministers, government officials interfere excessively in the day-to-day working of the government company. Whatever it is, the employees are not government employees, but still interference of so many people will be here in autonomy and in day-to-day work, and so many people will be disturbing every day. That will be there. And fraud on a company act and constitution. A government company is criticized as being a fraud on the government company and on the constitution. This criticism is valid on the ground that the government can exempt a government company from application of severe provisions of a company act. Again, the parliament is not taken into confidence while creating a government company. So here what happens is, if there is any issue, like if any fraudulent things happens, no, the government company will not take decisions against the same company, isn't it? Because it is for the government only, so they will not take much decision. So here that also is there. The next one is fear of exposure. It means the annual report of the government company is placed before the parliament or state legislature. The working of the company is exposed to the press criticism. Therefore, management of the company, the government company, often gets demoralized and may not take initiative to come out with and implement something innovative. So they are not able to create new things and all. So whatever the result it is, it comes in the front of the parliament, and even the public is there, the media is there. So they are not able to cheat on that exposure. Okay, that is very much is there. List of government company and their logo. That is Coal India Limited, Steel Authority of Limited. These are the government companies only. Okay. The next one is, see, these are the example. Tamil Nadu State Transport Corporation Limited, Gas Authority of Limited. These all are like government organization only. Lack of expertise in deputationalist. That is, the key personnel of a government company are often deputed from a government departments. These deputationalists generally lack expertise and commitment, and leading to low operational efficiency of the government company. So the people who are transferred from the government company, they just join here, and they don't have that much expertise, skill about the work and all, and because of this, efficiency will not be taken out. Okay, the last of this topic, that is the last point, is selfish functioning. The government company works neither for the government nor for the public at large, and it serves the personal interest of the people who work in the company and who dictate policies of the company. So here what happens, government company means it is actually created for serving the people, the public. But here what happens is, It is not like they won't serve for the public or even for a private also, but only for the people who are going to who work in the company and who dictate the policies, means who just take the policies. Only for them they are favorable, and here that is a selfish functioning. Okay, so these still here it gets over. Students, please read the lesson line by line. Okay, so you will get 1 marks from these examples and all. Okay, so please read the lesson. So if you have any doubts, you can just make a note down of the doubts, and you can just get back to me in the live session. Okay, hope you all are safe. So be safe and take care of your health. Thank you, students.